What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about here on a daily basis. And it's getting crazy here in the United States as the fight for pretty much everything in the United States is going on here pretty dramatically. The Supreme Court has been ruling on multiple different rulings here almost on a daily basis if you've been watching our show. And Republicans and Democrats are fighting almost constantly. And as we go into the midterm elections, it's going to be a pretty heated battle here. And yeah, check this out here. President Biden warns that Republicans will seek a nationwide abortion ban and I guess, potentially arrest women who cross state lines. Yeah, this is coming directly from the president. The president says that if Republicans win the majority, some states already have restrictions in place that would seek to arrest women. Some states already have these restrictions in place. I'll let you hear from the president here in a moment. Look at what just happened. This is the type of thing, you can let me know your thoughts here on this. I know everybody says that this type of thing shouldn't happen in the world or in our country, but unfortunately, this type of stuff does happen all too frequently, all too frequently. Check this out. Just yesterday, a 10-year-old girl was denied an abortion in Ohio, making major national headline news. A 10-year-old girl, which is just unbelievable. Check this out. It says, a 10-year-old girl was denied an abortion in Ohio after the Supreme Court ruled last week that overturning Roe v. Wade, demonstrating the tangible impacts that the High Court's decision is already having on patients seeking access to the medical procedure. And get this, it was a child abuse doctor in Ohio that contacted Dr. Caitlin Bernard, an obstetrician gynecologist in Indiana, after receiving a 10-year-old patient who was only 6 weeks pregnant and 3 days. And the thing is about this is that from what it seems is that Google says between 6.5 to 7 weeks after gestation, a heartbeat can be better assessed. Sometimes a heartbeat can be found as early as 5.5 to 6 weeks after gestation. Yeah, so this girl, 10 years old, was denied an abortion at 10 years old from, as it was reported, from a child abuse doctor. The patient, the child, is now headed west to Indiana, given that an abortion ban in Ohio, which prohibits the medical procedure when the fetal cardiac activity begins around 6 weeks. In Ohio, there were several groups that had filed a lawsuit seeking to block the state law from taking effect here on Wednesday. An emergency stay of the abortion ban was rejected by the Ohio Supreme Court on Friday, meaning that the ban can be upheld as the case is reviewed, the Cincinnati Enquirer reported. Ohio is among a number of states that have already rolled back abortion access since the Supreme Court has eliminated the constitutional right to an abortion. Some laws have been paused pending legal challenges. Even Indiana could soon find itself passing its own abortion law later this month, given that a special session has already been scheduled for later in July, and the legislature is expected to touch on a ban on the medical procedure, WFYI reported. Yeah, so this is where things get messy. a 10-year-old child is pregnant, how many of these cases happen? How many of these cases of child abuse happen? I mean, it's literally child abuse, right? It's 10-year-old. Um, and is this girl going to be forced to carry it to pregnant? And President Biden says, as you can see here, this soon may be a nationwide abortion ban. Some people are for this, some people are against this. You can let me know your thoughts here in the comments. And this also could include, depending on what happens, some states are also have no exceptions for rape, incest, for children or anything. Some states have no exceptions at all for tubal pregnancies or anything like that, for medical anomalies or anything like that. Here is what the president has to say in a couple different clips. Check this out.
And President Biden warning if Republicans win Congress, they'll try to ban abortion across America. The president met virtually with Democratic governors from 9 states today. He said Democrats need to pick up more congressional seats in the midterms to protect abortion rights.
So the choice is clear. We either elect federal senators and representatives who will codify Roe, or Republicans who will elect the House and Senate who will try to ban abortions nationwide. Nationwide. This is going to go one way or the other after November.
Just hours after that meeting, state senators in New York voted to enshrine abortion rights in the state constitution. And in New Jersey, the governor signed a bill this afternoon to protect women who travel from other states for abortions. It also adds protections for the doctors providing them. Now, the new protections come as polling shows 1 in 5 Americans says abortion or women's rights should be one of the government's top priorities. That's up 14% over just the last 6 months.
Congress is going to have to act to codify the Roe into federal law. As I said yesterday, the filibuster should not stand in the way of us being able to do that. But right now, we don't have the votes in the Senate to change the filibuster at the moment. That means we need 2 more votes now, not now, when we vote, probably after November, more senators and House majority elected in November to get this bill to my desk. So the choice is clear. We either elect federal senators and representatives who will codify Roe, or Republicans who will elect the House and Senate who will try to ban abortions nationwide. Nationwide. This is going to go one way or the other after November. So let's remember, the reasoning of this decision has an impact much beyond Roe and to the right to privacy more generally. Justice Thomas himself said that. Under the reasoning of this decision, that the court should reconsider marriage equality and contraception. And there's a lot at stake here. In the meantime, I want to hear what the governors are doing, talk about my plans, and discuss what we can do until Congress acts. This is not over. It's not over.
So President Biden says 2 more Democratic senators needed to codify abortion rights because right now we don't have the votes. Now, this is interesting to me because, well, number one, Senator Joe Manchin was actually taken aback by the Republicans who voted to strike down Roe versus Wade. So he actually roundabout, he didn't call them liars, but he basically kind of said that they I don't know how to politically correct say this. He kind of said that they went back on their word. Yeah, you can let me know what you think of that. But whether Joe Manchin would vote to codify Roe versus Wade, ultimately, I don't know. Whether Kirsten Sinema would, I don't know. We'd have to see ultimately after, them convincing them and all that stuff. The bigger question here is if they could do it through the reconciliation process, okay? Because if they can't, and again, you guys can, whether What side of the fence you're on, I totally get it. Some people are for babies' rights, and some people are for women's rights, and I totally get it. There's people on both sides, but this at least this way you're understanding the kind of battle here, okay? Because if they can do it through the reconciliation process, that means that they could pass a bill to codify women's choice where the women could make the choice instead of the government making the choice. Because that's basically what has happened now is that they've struck down Roe v. Wade, and states are making the choice for the women. The women no longer have the choice in the states that have struck it down, which is one by one, it's more and more states now. And we're going to have probably close to 24 states here very, very soon where the women no longer have the choice and the states, the government is making the choice for the women, and the government is basically choosing for them instead. Okay. So the women have lost their liberty, they've lost their choice. The government is choosing for them. Whether you think that is right or wrong, you can let me know in the comments. And we had a similar situation with the vaccine in the past, but it was a little different because people weren't forced to take the vaccine. There was a similar situation where some people had lost their jobs if they didn't take the vaccine, but they weren't actually forced to. In this case, there's going to be women who are going to be forced to have a baby where they might not have any other choices at all. Okay. Or at least with the vaccine, there was a choice where you could quit your job and go get another job if you wanted to. And this is where a lot of people are kind of distraught, saying, should the government have the choice in both matters, really? You can let me know your thoughts on this. Should the government have the choice, or should people have the choice? And in this case, you got to really think about it. The government was really six people who weren't really even elected by the people per se. The Supreme Court justices were elected by a president and then codified by the Supreme or codified by the Senate. So they really weren't elected by the people, by the regular everyday Americans. They weren't actually voted on per se by them. It was really six people that voted on it in the Supreme Court. So that's kind of the question here. Remember that Roe v. Wade stood almost for 50 years, and now we have a different Supreme Court with a different opinion, and now it's struck down, and now we have some states that are passing laws to make it illegal, and some states that are saying it's not illegal, which is downright confusing for a lot of people. So literally, you could live in point A, or you can live a few miles away in another state at point B, and it could be legal here and not legal here. And the thing is that if you live in one state, it could be illegal. In another state, it could be, legal, not legal. And for some women, especially, people who don't have any money, they might not be able to travel to another state, fly to another state, especially if you're surrounded by several states where it's illegal. There's going to be a lot of women who are forced to carry a pregnancy basically against their will. And the question is, should the government be able to force them, tell them, make this choice for them? So, which is very, very different than what it was a month ago. A month ago, this was not the case. So this is a very radical change than what it was a month ago. Yeah, so it's just a completely different choice here. And President Biden is saying that if Republicans take over in the midterm elections here, which is just a few months away, that this could become a nationwide thing. This could be for the whole country. And if this happens for the whole country, you might not, or anybody might not, any women or any families might not be able to have this choice at all in the entire country. So again, you can let me know your thoughts here on this in the comments section. I'll keep you up to date here with everything going on here in our country. We have this. We have gun rights going on here as well. We have a lot of states passing state stimulus checks. The federal government considering inflation relief as well. And I'll keep you up to date with everything. It's, the war in Russia, everything you guys need to know about here on a daily basis. So if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below. It's completely free to do so. And then click the bell icon that appears so you get notifications when we go live here. Also, happy 4th of July weekend. I'll have some special guests here for you this weekend here on our channel here. So you can click here to see my newest video of stimulus checks that are going out here in multiple different states. Or click this video that I just did that says 58% of Americans are now included in this. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.